Hi, today I wanted to talk about the events that took place in November of 1992, and that is the month and the year that I was born in. I'm going to start from the beginning of November and then reach the end and describe each highlight. On November 1st, 1992, the Columbia 13 space shuttle landed at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. There were 6 crew members, and the mission was to deploy a satellite, which was done successfully. On November 3rd, 1992, we elected our first African American woman into the U.S. Senate, and her name was Carol Moseley Brown. Also on November 3rd, 1992, Bill Clinton was elected President of the United States, and his opponent was George H.W. Bush. Again, on November 3rd, 1992, Whitney Houston released her cover of Dolly Parton's hit single, I Will Always Love You. And it ended up that in 1993, that hit the top charts. On November 7th, the first NBA game was played at American West Arena, and the Phoenix Suns beat the Clippers 111-105. Notre Dame also beat Boston 54-7 in college football, and that was a huge deal for that time. On November 8th, 1992, Betsy King won the LGPA Golf Classic in Japan, and 300,000 people demonstrated in Berlin against racism. On November 9th, Howard Stern had his first debut on his radio show in Las Vegas. And on November 11th, the Church of England allowed the ordination of female priests officially. On November 12th, Steve Howe, a New York Yankee pitcher, was reinstated for his 8th term. And on November 13th, 1992, Riddick Bowe beat Evander Holywood in 12 for the title of heavyweight in boxing. On November 15th, a Cuban airplane flight 18 crashed and 34 people were killed. And NASCAR's 42nd Cup took place with Alan Kulwicki winning. On November 17, 1992, Erling Krag began his exploration in the South Pole, which ended successfully. On November 18th, the movie Malcolm X, starring Denzel Washington, was released. And on November 20th, 1992, Queen Elizabeth's home, which is the Windsor Castle, caught fire. On November 21st, 1992, 3 swimming world records were hit for the butterfly, the medley, and the freestyle, along with an apology from Bob Packwood, who was the then Oregon State Senator, who was apologizing for sexual advances and harassments against 10 different women. On November 23rd, 10 million cell phones were sold. And on November 24th, 1992, the Boeing 734 crashed into the China Mountains and killed 141 people. On November 26th, a world-renowned geneticist for DNA fingerprints by the name of Sir Alec Jeffreys was awarded Freeman of Leicester. And on the 27th of November, Howard Stern interview premiered on E! Network channel. Some famous November birthdays are Odell Beckham Jr. on November 5th, Marie Curie on November 7th, Trey Smith on November 11th, and Miley Cyrus on November 23rd. Some famous deaths for November 1992 are William Hillcourt, the man who wrote the Boy Scout Handbook, and he died at the age of 92. Huck Connors, a professional basketball and baseball player who died at the age of 71. And Dorothy Bush, President George H.W. Bush's mother, passed away on November 19th of 1992 as well. Some gas prices in November 1992 were roughly $1.12 a gallon in the United States. The average price for a home in November of 1992 for the U.S. was about $147,200, while the median was $128,900. The life expectancy for November 1992 was 75.8 years old. Inflation was about 3%, and unemployment was about 6.8%. The median household income was $30,636. A gallon of milk was $2.78, which I believe sounds a little bit high to me for some reason, and a stamp was 29 cents. Also, a dozen eggs were 93 cents. As you can see, a lot happened in November of 1992. We had some deaths and some losses, but I believe that this was a great year overall. Women as a whole made some strides, and people were sticking up and bringing awareness against racism. 1992 showed me that although we had many of the same problems that we do have nowadays, we are working in the right direction and demanding change. Thanks, guys.